Hey, Angel. Seen anything good lately?
I've seen movies, whether or not they've been good or that's up for
Okay.
debate. But just kind of related to what we've been doing with the podcast. I did see one of the most recent movies I saw, Death of a Unicorn. I saw
Mm.
that.
How was it?
Um, I
You
should have
like it?
stuck. I should have stuck with my original take and just waited for streaming. It was not
Oh,
good.
disappointing. I'll watch it in streaming then.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was just kind of just blah. Like it wasn't.
Well, they did a good job in the trailer then. They did a really good job in the trailer.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. Like there was nothing exciting about it. Like I mean,
Hmm.
kind of the only thing that I really liked was like Will Poulter. He was funny throughout for me,
Hmm.
and seeing violent unicorns go at it on the humans was pretty cool. But that other than that, that was it. But you were kind of on point with your sort of suspicions
Oh,
on a couple things. So
cool. Okay, every so often I'll get, it's like a broken watch. It's right twice a day.
what about you? Have you seen?
So, in honor of Val Kilmer, who recently passed, I forced my wife to watch Real Genius, which I think is one of Val Kilmer's great classics. One of his on his younger days. I mean, he's got a lot of amazing roles. I mean, even Heat. Uh, the they train police officers on how to like retreat while under fire using the clip from Heat uh, of after the bank robbery, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Real Genius, which I own and um, I'm a big fan of and have watched probably a dozen times. Um, then saw Real Pain, the one about the cousins and traveling.
Yeah,
Was
the Jesse
surprisingly,
Eisenberg movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg, I believe directed it, maybe also wrote it. Um, and Kieran Culkin did an amazing job. Yeah, I think Kieran Culkin did an amazing job. I think it was interesting. It's not what I expected, but I really enjoyed it. Um, and then I've
Yeah,
been
I liked it
binging.
too.
Yeah, I had been pushing it off. I was like, oh, I don't know if like I want to see this. Like it doesn't like the trailer didn't do it for me, and that was pushing me off. But then when I actually saw the movie, I was like, okay, I get it. Um, then I've been binging Daredevil Born Again.
We don't talk about TV on this podcast.
Okay.
Just joking.
It's
Just
great.
joking. Just
However, there's a crossover with the other movie I just finished, which is Deadpool and Wolverine, which
hold on,
uh,
hold on, hold on. Wait. So you didn't see Deadpool and Wolverine last summer?
I didn't.
What?
This is something I come to a realization though.
Okay,
So
I
I'm gonna
guess
be
you're
I'm
not
gonna
like a
be I'm
big.
gonna be I'm gonna be honest with you. The last
Okay, you're
movie
not.
I saw in theaters
Mhm.
was Dune Part One.
Dune Part One. That was what 2021. No, I. But
It's just
I
I
mean,
don't
I
I don't
guess.
have I don't have the time necessarily to go to the theaters as easily. I mean,
Yeah.
your kids are a little more grown up, but
No, yeah, that's true.
it's just hard getting out, and so I think it's like I have to make it a date night to be able to
Hmm.
pull it off.
Yeah, yeah. But it's been out for a while. I mean, I guess.
It is.
Were
I
you
only
excited? Were you excited? Were you like looking forward to seeing it? Like if we were
Yeah, I'm
doing
actually
the
a big
if
fan
we
of
were doing
Deadpool.
this
I
if we were doing this podcast a year ago and we saw the trailer, what would you have been like?
I've never seen the trailer for it. Um,
What?
I never saw the trailer for it. That said, I own Deadpool 1 and I might own Deadpool 2 as well. Uh, so I'm a Deadpool fan. I think
Uh-huh.
the way that Ryan Reynolds and company have done Deadpool is so good. I thought Deadpool and Wolverine was so good. I mean, but it's also like generational, the nods to certain things, the breaking of the fourth wall, the just so many things were so good. And also the fact that like I've seen all of those movies, the fact that they brought back it's a minor spoiler, like Elektra from the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck, like is great. Um it's just
And were
the
you so like oh wow. So the movie
I
came out
didn't
almost a year ago and you did not get spoiled at all?
no, I didn't know anything about it other than the fact that I was like, oh, it's gonna be Deadpool and Wolverine. And and
Kudos
and
for not
because I
being
had
spoiled.
seen Loki season 1, Um, I also got those references, which were good. I mean, it's definitely a movie that you need to have seen a lot of other movies or shows to get the references. And I'm sure there were certain ones that I didn't get because, um, I, some
Hmm.
esoteric thing that I hadn't watched. But most of them I did get.
But
Uh,
were you caught up with your MCU movies to that by the time you saw Deadpool and Wolverine?
I think I am. Wait, what MCU movies?
I mean, like up until then, like what was the last? I can't remember what was the last one before that.
I think I've seen
But
probably
like,
all of the MCU movies. The only thing I haven't seen is like
so like,
the latest season of Loki. I haven't seen, or the last season of
okay,
Loki.
all right. So you're caught up.
But
You're just very delayed there. Wow. I mean, it was like the second biggest movie of the year. Okay, all right,
that
but I
was a
guess
great
like
movie. Oh,
no. If okay, so go because I don't think you answered this. So like, if we were doing this podcast a year ago, and I think
yeah.
it roughly a year ago is when the first trailer came out for Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, if you had saw the podcast, or sorry, saw the trailer, and we were doing the podcast, what would you give in the rating?
I don't think
Like,
I would have need to even see the trailer. I would have said I would definitely save it to my watch list and stream it. But if I can, I'd see it in theaters.
got it. Okay,
But it's on
it's on Disney Plus now.
Disney Plus. So if you don't have Disney Plus, I just recently got access to Disney Plus, so that's why I was able to watch it. If I had it sooner, I would have watched it sooner.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, man. Like,
But
okay,
there,
I
but
get it.
I think there,
I get
I
it.
think
You
there's certain
can't see
things that like
everything.
if they're not in the window, then you forget about them, and if they're not popping up on the streaming service that you have, not every,
Hmm.
I don't have every streaming service. If it doesn't pop up on the streaming service you have, you just don't remember it. But then as soon as it popped up on Disney Plus, I was like, oh, God, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, but so the last movie you saw in theaters. All right, let's go back to that. Like Dune 1, 2021. Yeah, I get it. It's hard to get out
And that was
to
with a
theaters.
talkback with Timothy Chalamet and the actress who played his mother.
Rebecca
Yeah,
Ferguson.
yeah.
Um, that's a lot. I mean, I get it. When you have a little one, it's hard to get out. But there's got to be at least like 3 to 4 movies you're like, I'm seeing in this in theaters. I have to see it no matter what. And
But
like you
here's the
just
thing. I
luck.
think that's the changing thing. I think the appeal of theaters is not what it used to be. But I don't know. I mean, there's certain ones I would like to. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think if I had the time and ability, I would
Mhm.
definitely do it. It's just the, priorities of life and the fact that it will be on streaming and I can watch it, you know, on my iPad or on my projector, it makes up for it.
I was listening to a podcast where they were kind of like, sort of like talking about that and sort of like the viewing trends and sort of like, but that's a lot of it. That's sort of like the MO for like Gen Z and right now. But, obviously all other like generations also sort of like doing that as well because they'll just like, oh, it's on streaming. I'll wait for streaming, and that's
But that said, there are also segments of different generations, younger generations especially, which are trying to go old school, right? Like the wind up, cameras that you need to get the film developed, the old school flip phones that don't have apps. Like there is a throwback that there might be a push of like, I want that guttural experience with other people in the moment, which is, opening weekend in a theater.
mhm.
Like, I mean, I remember seeing, I think, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull with you at the Ziegfeld, and
So
like,
yeah.
no, and that was like, I remember that movie watching experience. When I'm watching something on streaming, do I remember that movie? I mean, I remember the movie, but do I remember the movie watching experience? Not the same, for sure.
Yeah. But there's at least I mean, again, you got
No,
to
no,
get at least to the theater, just to
yeah,
see like a
yes,
real like a movie like a real pain. That's you don't does I
no,
saw that
yeah.
on streaming. It was on Hulu. I was like, all right, check this out. Heard good
Mhm.
things. Um, but like, all right, whatever.
No, no, don't get me wrong. I also should socialize more. I should see human beings more. Uh
Now,
so it's there's I've got life goals. They're just not there yet.
well, my next movie in theater will be this
Oh,
Friday. I'm gonna see Sinners.
oh, okay.
Comes out this Friday. Got my ticket already. IMAX film. So the big
Okay.
screen. So looking forward to that.
Nice. Well, why don't we talk about what we're going to talk about today? So, welcome to Trailer Teardowns. We take a trailer and discuss the nuances within it that make us want to see it or take a hard pass. I am one of your co hosts, Evan Bass with co host Angel Acevedo. And today we're discussing the trailer for Tron Ares. I'm excited to talk about this one.
It's dubbed the official trailer, but to me it feels more like a teaser. But I guess we'll call it the trailer because that's what the Disney has decided to title it on YouTube. So Tron Ares, directed by Joachim Roning, Norwegian director. Sorry if I butchered your name. He directed Maleficent and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Written by Jesse Guttow and Jack Thorne. Got the tough names, man. It's starring Greta Lee, Evan Peters, Jared Leto, Jeff Bridges, and Gillian Anderson. And it's coming out October 10th,
I believe it's
2025.
Gillian Anderson.
Jillian? I got this. Jillian.
X
Gillian.
Files.
Sorry.
Come on,
Sorry.
Gillian.
Sorry. I dropped in the log line here. So, a highly sophisticated program, Ares, is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission. I threw that in there because, just obviously as a teaser, you kind of don't know what it's about. So I thought this was interesting because it kind of could lead the teaser or trailer kind of has a lot of questions, which I have, but which is kind of good for a teaser. You want to come away with some questions. But an interesting fact: the last sequel for Tron came out
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, the Tron Legacy,
Mm-hmm.
um, and found this info, little tidbit about the original Tron from 1982. The film was disqualified from receiving an Academy Award nomination for special effects because at the time the Academy felt that using computer-generated effects was cheating.
Which is amazing. That's so amazing because I mean that's everything now. Like nobody does, or very rarely is there practical effects or compositing and stuff at the level that's not computer assisted.
I know that's so kind of ironic. Like like what's that? 43 years ago, like they thought, and like
Hmm.
now
Yeah,
it's like all the top five films, not or the five nominated films are all just like heavy computer generated effects. But the good ones definitely do like a balance of
yeah.
the two.
Well, I mean, if you look at Dune, the latest iteration of it, a lot of practical effects, and it looks better. Some would argue.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for The Legend of Ochi. If you haven't checked
I
that out.
Wait, I have. I don't remember what it's about, but I definitely did.
Yeah. No, it has a cool look to it and some practical effects with the little puppet
Hmm. Hmm.
of the creature.
Yeah.
Combination of like even old school stuff like matte paintings and things like that. So yeah, what stood out to you on this trailer?
I guess a number of things jumped out. The first one that jumped out to me is the fact that Garrett Hedlund, who played Sam Flynn, isn't in this movie, at least not listed in the cast, and neither is Olivia Wilde. Mainly was interesting to me because Tron Legacy, they were the central characters, and also it sort of ended with this freeing of Olivia Wilde's character into the real world, which is sort of a precursor to this concept of Tron Ares, I think, where the Tron universe is out of the computer into the real world, and she was like the key, and they sort of kept being like she's the key, but now what? She's just not in this because she wouldn't come back, or they decided not to write her in. So that was interesting because it's sort of like, oh, it follows up the last movie, but at the same time, for some reason, the thing that you said was really important in the last movie isn't really important now. I mean, what is this, Avatar? Um, but bum. Uh, sorry, I just have an issue with the unobtainium is the most important thing, and then in the next Avatar, nobody cares about it because there's something else that's more important. Um, so yeah, so that was interesting to me of just like, why aren't they in there? So hopefully they sort of answer that in the movie, at least even offhandedly, just because I would have expected at least Olivia Wilde to make an appearance, or Sam Flynn. But I do think, to me, when watching this, like even from the beginning of the trailer, when you introduce the light bikes in real life with the cop car, uh, it's the evolution that we all want to see. I think that's one of the cool things about Tron Ares is like the graphics look great, and as soon as Jeff Bridges' character in the original Tron goes into the computer and there's this world and crazy domination and things, and in Tron Legacy they set the uh, the foundation for the fact that somebody from the Tron world can come out. Um, we all want to see it. We all want to see that inside game, gaming or the computer world now coming out to mess with the real world. So I think this is like, you know, the wet dream that all the people who are Tron fans are sort of getting with this movie. So I think that has that going for it, and I think they do a really good job of leaning into all the things that they set out before. Even with the score, you've got the techno music. Well, I should actually pause and jump back to you on what you think. Have you seen Tron Legacy?
I have seen Tron Legacy. I
Okay.
have not seen it in 15 years. So roll it back. I'm not a Tron super fan or a fan. I'm not a Tronny. I don't know if that's what they call them, Tron fans. But I guess a casual fan. I'm gonna admit I've never seen the original. Um,
Oh, you should see the
and
original. It's a classic. It's
and it's just something I missed.
mhm,
I was
mhm.
born in '82, so
Oh yeah, yeah,
it
yeah. I mean,
was
it's
I would,
before.
but like so like growing up in the '80s, I was more sort of like the movies that sort of stuck out to me were like your Indiana Jones, your Gremlins, your Aliens,
Star
that the
Wars,
Goonies, Star
which
Wars. So
came out
like
in
that, you know,
1977.
yeah, the bigger movies. I mean, yeah,
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
that was older, but like it was more like a cultural phenomenon than
Yeah.
this. This,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
from my sort of like research, wasn't really a big hit.
No, it's kind of more like like a cult classic, but not
Yeah,
not like it's like a middle ground. Like it was a big movie for its time, but just like conceptually, but it wasn't like a big blockbuster.
yeah,
And
no, it wasn't, like a big hit. It was sort of like a mediocre hit for Disney at the time, and yeah, it has like gotten a cult following. Um, but so like, and even then, like I think that was just like Disney experimenting. Like
mhm,
that was like the Disney that came out during the Disney Dark Ages from like '81 to '88. They didn't really have a lot of big hits. Things were A lot of their animated movies were like dark and just did not hit, and they almost kind of
mhm.
like almost their animation department almost like fell apart because of like a couple of their animation movies were just like bombs. So yeah, and then I just, I never got to it around to it, even when I was like old enough to like maybe see it on the shelf on VHS. It's just like I missed that. I was more into the hardcore stuff when I was like 8 or 10. Give me some like slasher movies, T2 things like that. So missed it. But when Tron Legacy came out, I was, saw the trailer. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I thought it looked visually amazing. I was like never seen anything like that since like maybe Sin City, like some years
Mhm.
before that. Like this was just like a whole new look, and definitely was, it was shot digitally, and it looked really really good. And then the music was awesome, like Daft Punk. I'm a
Mhm.
big Daft Punk fan, and so like I thought the score was great, and just like I got to see this, looks cool. And I actually can't remember if I saw it in 3D or not. I think I missed my chance to see it in 3D at the time.
But it's interesting because you didn't go back and watch the original Tron before seeing Tron Legacy. I feel like that would be a move that you might do.
Yeah, no, that's usually my sort of go-to thing. It's like, oh, let me set the stage, but I can't remember where I was and what I was doing. Or just I just missed that.
Mhm.
So it's like, and I kind of maybe I kind of took it as like, you know what, the movie. So like Tron was '82, Tron Legacy was 2010. So like, how many years was that? That's almost 30
Uh,
years.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, so almost 30 years. So like I think. maybe I just kind of took it like, I think they're gonna make this movie to sort of like more mass appeal as opposed to like the diehard cult.
Hmm.
So I kind of went in and thinking, okay, maybe they'll just make it easy enough where I don't need to know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tron one. So, but yeah, that's again, and I thought the movie was it was okay, but yeah, that's my sort of take. So those are my takes on the Trons. For this, same thing. I think the visuals were really stuck out and they stuck out again. The stark
Yeah.
black, the red, kind of
Hmm.
different and cool because I've seen images and clips of the original Tron that had a lot of blue, and so like Tron Legacy, very similar but in a different way. This was it's something different, and then coming into the real world, which that didn't stick out to me. And then as I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, okay, the other two are both in the game in Tron, so like this is a big sort of like you said evolution. They're bringing the game into the real world, and the music is just awesome again.
Yeah,
Daft
yeah.
Punk, they've
I think. Well, it's not. It's Nine Inch
no, no,
Nails this
no.
time.
Well,
Yeah,
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 no, like Daft Punk's disbanded, so like the music in this is very cool, and I feel like it fits very well. I'm assuming that music that's in the teaser is Nine Inch Nails, so that's going to be pretty exciting. I thought that promoting the band at the end of the teaser was like,
interesting. Yeah, yeah,
like because like the music for the last one was like a big thing, and so
yeah.
I think they were like, well, we got to get another band that's just gonna bring an impact, and like so that was like, oh, let's promote that, and I thought it was cool and different. I've never seen that before. Like you don't see like, oh, featuring music by Hans Zimmer or John Williams
No,
card on a
though I
trailer.
do feel like Gangster's Paradise by Coolio might have been pushed in the Dangerous Minds trailer, but that may be just because Dangerous Minds was not as big a movie.
Yeah, but just having a single like a
Oh yeah, yeah,
standalone
like a
card,
credit.
like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
yeah,
true.
like in a teaser, like that's just huge. And obviously trying to sell that aspect
Yeah,
of it. The teaser itself is very sort of classic teaser in the sort of like using the VO structure. It's just like all VO, no dialogue on screen. It's just a bunch of images.
and very little VO actually. Not, I mean, not
Yeah, very
tons of
little.
VO. Like
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
not
a
a lot.
very conservative with it.
And I had a question there, and I don't know who you think. Like the VO, I think the VO of the first person talking. I couldn't
I
tell
think
who it
that was
was.
Ares. I think it's Ares
It
or
sound
like the head guy from. It might be the head guy from the Tron world. I can't remember the bad guy's name, but there's like the bad guy because it wasn't Jeff Bridges' voice.
yeah, it's not Jeff Bridges. He like pops up at the end. His VO pops up at the
Yeah,
end, I
and
think.
it wasn't Jared Leto's voice or Leto.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't sound like. Yeah, I don't know. It sort of sounds like Jared Leto, but like it probably isn't. Maybe it's like the other guy. The again, I don't know the characters in Tron, but I think it's the actor Bruce Box.
Oh, Bruce Boxleitner. Well,
Yes,
Bruce
could
Boxleitner plays Alan Bradley, who I believe is Tron
mm,
in the original Tron.
could be him, but yeah, definitely not Jeff Bridges. Doesn't sound like Evan Peters, but it could be that guy. But yeah, so yeah, that's obviously to me, it's like it's has that just classic teaser structure where you're just doing VO, throwing some really standout visuals.
Hmm.
But some things like again, because I'm not like a Tron like
Super
fan, like
fan.
the big arch structure thing
Yeah.
moving through the city, like it didn't impact me like the way I think
See
like
that so that's the thing that like is their transport, like transport and like ship, kind of big known image is that
yeah, I
when they
kind
like,
of
capture people
assume
and stuff too, and or
I
drop
kind
people
of
off.
like assumed that like it had sort of thing, but it didn't like impact me because like once it like showed it like cut and there's like this big like sound like brown sound
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like trying to like hey it's this thing.
Which I feel like is a sound that they used to use a bunch in movies as like there's something coming, and they haven't done in a little while, but it's bringing it back. But I feel like that's
Hmm.
a something that the sound designers in trailers like to go to. Like there was for a while the
Hmm.
same score like song that was ramping up for like every superhero movie kind of in the background.
Yeah, that was definitely a big thing in the mid 2000s, 2010s and stuff. I think it's kickstarted with like Inception with the blah
Hmm.
blah
Hmm.
in trailers. Though the use of it here feels like it could be score from Nine Inch Nails, just kind of maybe playing off that
Mm. Yeah,
thing
yeah.
from the 2010s. Um, and then it's similarly to like that big arch thing. They again, it's the last shot in the trailer where it's like the money shot where Greta Lee's like looking at it and is going over her in slow motion, and then it's like title card Tron. It's like that. I thought that was kind of a weak one,
But
weak
isn't that
end
the
to
one?
the
Isn't
trailer.
but it doesn't go over? But there also were the two ships, right? With their that are essentially like light bike ships. That wasn't it right at that moment. There's like a military ship shot something, and then the two other ships use their trails to protect the main one, and then like are circling back. And overhead, you see all of the ships kind of like tails going.
Maybe it's you don't see any ships. You just see sort of like light trails
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
flying
yeah.
through but it's like this like low angle the low angle POV of no, it's not a POV, but just like the low angle shot looking up at it. Like that's like the money shot. It didn't do it for me.
Interesting, because I saw that as like invasion, and this was them being like, it's not just one little thing happening. It's like it's an invasion with all these different ships or flights. And I also think so. Ares is an interesting choice because Ares is the god of war, but also the god of brutality, which is interesting. Like, unlike Ares' sister Athena, who is also a god of war, Ares is known for sort of the bloodshed, the brutality of it. So even with that name, I think it's trying to the set the stage. And I think, it's similar with in inside of Tron in the previous ones, they've got a very dark sky. It's very dark, and then the colors are popping. I think they did that here as well, as you said, with the red. There were some like a few colors in things, but nothing as bright or like oversaturated, like a neon light, like they did with the red, with either the ship or the light bike, or the looks like they had maybe a staff, like a light staff kind of thing going on at one point. And that was an interesting part, that moment where you see the sort of, I think, the main guy, and then you see two people in uh like, I don't know, military esque Tron uniforms with their light kind of staffs. That made me think one thing that is a staple in the Tron movies is this like battle arena where you get tested or you're captured, and then they're tested. And it was in the original, and then a variation of it in Tron Legacy, where Olivia Wilde's character then like busts into it and saves with her light car or whatever. That I'm curious if they're going to do some kind of arena thing here, but it's in the real world, so they don't have all of the like control that they do within the game scenario. So that did kind of pique my interest, that maybe it's in both. That like maybe part of it's in the game scenario and part of it's in the real world. That it's not just all in the real world, especially with that like building. And maybe that was the building of Ares, but there's that shot where it's like the person's getting digitally built, and I think you actually have Jeff Bridges' VO there, and maybe they're building Jared Leto's character. I don't know. I will also say, in full honesty, when I was watching the trailer and Jared Leto's character popped up, I went to IMDb to check if he's actually in it or if this was just a fake movie, because I was like, really, Jared Leto is this? Like, I don't know. I'm curious. I like his Joker and Suicide Squad was definitely something.
Different. Yep.
Yeah, and then I think just he's not the type of actor that would normally associate with Tron. I don't know why, but it's just like a gut thing. So yeah, I literally thought it might be a fake trailer until I checked out IMDb.
That's what I mean. I could see that because it is a tight shot on him. So like
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of movement, I think, on him. So like you could almost like say like, oh, that's AI or someone did a VFX shot, pulled footage from him in a different movie.
Yeah, face swap from whatever that vampire movie he was, like, because I thought he's also flying in this one. I think, or like that tight shot almost felt like it was flying, like the angle and the way he is.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, I think the way it's stepped up with the effects and it just looks so cool.
it does. I think it visually it's just like that looks it looks cool. The red just really just pops. Like it's like,
Yeah. Well,
you
because it
know,
is turned up. It's like a neon, and then you get like they did a good job where it's very crisp, but at the same time it's got some kind of like hazing on the edges at some level. And I think, the fact that it has a trail and then that trail also can do damage is really cool to see. It's just like a visual effect that you that Tron I think created in the original that's like just really cool, this idea. And it's almost like Centipede, right? Where you have to avoid, yourself or your own trail or you die. That other than that, like that doesn't exist anywhere else. So it's like a cool IP, also just visually.
do you think well, yeah, do you think Jared Leto's character is the protagonist or antagonist?
I think he might be Ares, but then he would be the
He might be
voiceover. So
what?
I don't know. So he
Well, no,
might be that.
he is according to IMDb, he is Ares,
Oh,
but
okay.
so
But I
is do
think
you think he's the good guy, the bad guy, and
I
who's
think he is the good guy. I think maybe Jeff Bridges' double or whatever that's in Tron world created it to stop the invasion. That maybe the dangerous mission is stopping the bad guys. That it's almost like a fake out the log line, um, where you think the sophisticated program is the bad guy, but instead the dangerous mission is to stop the bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, initially going in, sort of like just seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, he's and just sort of like knowing the name Ares, God of War, and just I was like, oh, he's gonna be the bad guy, and you kind of maybe get that, and also because like everything's red, all the Tron elements
Hmm,
are
hmm.
red, he's red, and so it's like red kind of just feels evil.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean
Um,
it's Star Wars, right? The red lightsabers versus
yeah,
the blue ones.
yeah. So, but then you read and who knows if this is an official log line, but like the log line is like, it reads a highly sophisticated program. Ares is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission. Like, so that to me seems very protagonist like,
Hmm.
right?
And like invading the real world or Earth or whatever doesn't seem like a mission. It seems like a quest.
Now, do you think because Tron is going into the real world, that's why everything's red and not blue?
I'm trying to remember. In Tron Legacy, was everything blue? I thought there was red.
I believe so.
I feel like I
I
feel like
mean,
I mean I feel like red is the bad guy. Like I feel like I agree with you. Red is that feeling of the bad guy aspect of it. But I mean, I know in Tron Legacy there's a lot of blue. No, you're right. Yeah, in Tron Legacy there's a lot of blue. And this is red, but I think the blue is the good guys and red is the bad guys, but
though that arc structure thing, there's it has like orange highlights around it, highlighting it. But I feel like generally everything is blue. Hold
yeah, I
on.
mean I think
Oh,
definitely
there's
the
okay. So like I guess the evil Jeff Bridges has yellow, and like his minions have like that orange. It's orange, not red. It's definitely not red. Nothing's red. It's orange or yellow.
but I think red is definitely meant to signify bad.
hmm In the Tron world.
Yeah. Like, or at least in this trailer. I mean, I think just like you said, blue we associate with good and red we associate with bad. I mean, in the Tron world, in Tron Legacy, the the arc as you're calling it it does have red or orange, but then a lot of
Yeah.
them have either white or blue associated with them. But I think blue is probably seen as like good. But I also think it could just be a theme, right? I mean, Tron Legacy definitely blue was the look, right? Blue
Hmm.
fireworks in the trailer. I'm just looking at it right now. Blue in the ship, but the light bikes were like a mix of blue or orange/red. So definitely the the red or orange does is symbolized by the like bad guys. That said, it
Got
could
it.
be
Yeah.
sort of
So
again
I'm
a bait and switch where maybe when they're in the real world, everything's red.
maybe,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I'm scrubbing through the trailer for the original, and there is some of the characters have the red or orange yellow kind of combination to them.
Yeah.
So okay, so it's not just the real world kind of thing. So I got to go and watch the original.
Yeah, but I think as a movie, like it leaned into this trailer what it does well, right? I mean, it's the visuals and the concept, right? There's not much complicated nature to this. You don't get much of the story, but you get the basic, hey, the Tron world coming out, they're wreaking havoc, which is what
Yeah.
they do, but now into the real world and they've got their advanced, technology, and so that's going to, have an effect. So Angel's YouTube corner, you said nothing really stuck out. What were
Yeah,
sort
I
of
mean,
like
I
the
guess
feel of people?
just to kind of like you kind of like hinted at like, just sort of summarizing like this trailer, like a lot of people are nothing like stuck out like as in terms of like, oh, that's a funny comment, but like everyone seems to be really psyched about it. There a lot of people were fans of like the Legacy sequel.
Hmm.
So they're all just generally excited to see this, and they're like, oh, hopefully they're just like, oh, how long it's taken for a
Yeah.
sequel to come out, and the general consensus on the comments that I saw, like everyone is excited about it. Can't wait.
Okay. Want to go to verdict?
Sure, let's do it.
What do you see? Are you seeing it in theaters? You streaming it? I'll guess. I'm gonna guess at yours. I'm gonna guess because you're not a Tron fan, you will watch it in streaming, but you aren't going to go to the theaters and see it opening weekend. However, if it's gotten really good reviews, maybe you'll go and watch it in the theaters, just not opening weekend.
My gut right now is like, oh, this looks cool. It's gonna look cool in theaters. Right now, I'll see it in theaters. I'm not a diehard Tron fan, so I'm not like, oh, I'll need to see this opening weekend.
Yeah.
But I would definitely catch it in theaters, unless it's just like reviews are just like terrible, and it's like, it's not great. But definitely try to catch it in theaters. I would aim for theaters for sure, especially
All right.
IMAX. It's filmed for IMAX. Everything's filmed for IMAX now. So yeah, theaters.
All right. You going to guess on mine?
I mean, based on what we talked about in the opening, like you'll stream it. You're not you'll stream it. And you'll catch it on Disney Plus when it lands there 3 months after its release.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely stream it. I feel like if I watch this on projection with surround sound, it'll be pretty awesome. That said, I do think this is a theater movie in that it's got like so many big kind of set piece feels and like epic in the invasion nature, and with the visuals that I think watching it in theaters would be really cool. So I'd say I'm definitely going to stream it, but if I could scratch out some time to see it in theaters, I think it would be cool. Even if I saw it like as a matinee and just by myself, being able to see it on a big screen, I think would with this, theater surround would be an experience.
Hmm. Yeah, my worry is that it could be mediocre, just like the
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like it's just like you know. But there's a lot of mediocre movies out there, so I mean,
I mean, I enjoyed the last one. It was just not as I don't think it was as intense. It like got a good start and then it sort of ended. You were just like, oh, wait, what's going on exactly? Like, okay, this person is really special and we have to get them out, but this person's trying to block it and they don't want them to for some reason. Like it was a little bit more complicated. And then yeah, I think that like slowed things down. Like they're on the ship and the ship's moving slow, so they might get caught. You're like, okay.
I feel like it could do well in theaters. I don't know what else is coming out around that time in October, But definitely avoiding December will be crucial because that's when the next Avatar's coming out. So like, kind of want to just stay away from that. Also, it's Disney. Both of the movies are Disney, technically, so they're not gonna like step on each other. So, yeah, I'll check it out in theaters.
All right. Are we leaving people with a question for the
Oh, I
comments?
have one. I thought
Oh,
about
yeah,
this. It's
yeah.
related
Excellent.
to what we were talking about at the beginning, and it's a different poll. I think the question is, will Evan see a movie in theaters this year? What do audiences think?
Wait,
Yes
that's
or
gonna be the
no?
comment. That's the comment. Oh, is
Yes,
it a
I
poll
think.
or is it a poll or a
No,
comment? A question.
or
We'll put in a poll.
yeah, the poll. Yeah, that's right. We could put that as a poll.
Well, why don't we put that as the question? Why don't we put that as the question? So the poll is, are you going to see this movie? And the question is, do you think I'm going to see a movie in theaters in 2025?
I hope so.
That is a good question. That's a good question.
The theater industry is dependent on you, Evan. You are our only hope.
Thank you. Thank you, Obi Wana Ona Theater.
uh,
Uh,
okay, so
um,
yeah, the usual poll. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so yeah, I mixed it up. Yeah, the usual poll will be there if you'll see this in theaters or whatever. But yeah, the question for the audience will be: will Evan see a movie in theaters this year?
I love it. All right. So, as usual, any movie that we mentioned in this podcast, the trailer for it will be linked in the description. Um, if you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe so that you get the new ones when we release them. We're trying to release them once a weekish. And yeah, just want to say thank you for listening.
Thank you.